Good morning, Antigo parents and students, or maybe perhaps good evening for you. My name is Mr. Mack, and I will be your instructor for our physics class this semester. And I want to take a few moments this morning to introduce myself and to introduce you a little bit to your class so that you can feel comfortable getting started as you tackle this kind of virtual journey that we're going to be on this semester. Like I said, my name is Mr. Mack. I currently live in Greenfield, Wisconsin, actually coming to you live from my dining room here off our kitchen. And I actually grew up in Waukesha, Wisconsin, which is all kind of in the southeast corner of the state. But I do have some connections to other places, including Antigo, believe it or not. My parents live in Rhinelander, Wisconsin on Crescent Lake, if you've ever been. Lots of great fishing there. And so I drive up north quite a bit and find myself frequently passing through Antigo as I come up through Highway 45 there to the north. I went to school and finished my undergraduate degree at UW Eau Claire, which is an awesome school if any of you are heading off to college soon. I finished my graduate work at UW Whitewater, closer to home, easier to study since I started that much later. My wife is from the Madison area, and so you can tell as a family, we've kind of been all over the place, all over the state. We've got roots in lots of different places. So it's nice to get up that way and be able to experience so many very different parts of our state. Also, I do have a connection to Antigo, as I mentioned before. Not that long ago, I was a geometry teacher for a large group of students. Some of you may have been included in that group when one of your math teachers was on maternity leave. So that was a great experience for me, hopefully for my students as well. If any of you are in that group, welcome back and welcome to the rest of you. Let me just share real quick some pictures here so you can kind of get to know me of my family. Here is our family all kind of strung together from pictures this summer. You can see here's a picture of Mrs. Mack and I over here on the left enjoying a night out kid-free on our anniversary. That's actually taken in McKinney, Texas. We have some family that live down there. That's a kind of a northern suburb of Dallas. And so we were down there beating the heat at night and getting some nice dinner out while our siblings kind of watched our kiddos. So here, speaking of the kiddos, here they are. Here's Henry. He's 6. He's wearing his baseball hat there. He actually went to his very first live baseball game while we were on that vacation in Dallas, the Dallas Rough Riders. And right here next to him is his fiery little sister, Evelyn. As you may guess from the photo, she's 2.5 right now. She'll be turning 3 pretty quickly here. And the last member of our little family is Franklin. This is a picture of Franklin from this summer. He's here on the boat enjoying a nice cruise on the lake. And he is a Bichon mix of some kind. We don't really know. We adopted him quite a while ago, and I think he's actually going to turn 15 coming up this semester. So he's kind of a senior dog now, likes to take naps, but still gets out on the boat every now and then and enjoys it. So that's a little about me. Always, if you have any other questions or interesting information you'd like to be sharing about yourself, you can always contact me via email or make an appointment. But that said, let's get down to business here and take a look at your class, because I want to point out a couple of things that are going to be important to you kind of as you get started in your class and important in navigating the class as you go. So when you click on our course tile, like when you enter the class after you log in here, this is where you'll land, ironically enough, called the landing page. And the most important thing I'd like to point out is right here at the top, other than this handsome picture of myself here, you can see all of the different ways that you can get a hold of me. So you have your coach, obviously, at school, who I am in contact with, your instructional coach, but also you can directly contact me right here at the top. Probably the best way to get a quick answer or something during the day when I am also teaching is to use email. That usually is handy and open for me most of the day. And so anytime I get a minute to sit down, or if I'm not teaching a class at that time, I'll be able to fire off a response to you right away. We also have our Connect Time link here. You can make an appointment for a video call with me anytime you need help. Right now, its schedule looks like for me, that'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. And usually I have appointments go for an hour and a half or so, like 15-minute appointments. So that's another way if you find yourself needing a bit more help than you think you can get in an email. If you do send an email, though, screenshots are super helpful in that. So, for example, if you're working on a particular activity or need help with a particular question, if you can send me a link, or not a link, a screenshot of that along with your email, that would be helpful. The more information you give me, the better I'll be able to help you out. So the nice part about our appointment times too, again, we just use Google Meet like I'm recording today, and that's good for most schools. Should be no problem for you to create an appointment and then join with Google Meet, easy peasy. If you scroll down, this is a little bit more information about me. You kind of got a preview of that today, but there's some more fun little tidbits in there if you want to watch. Down here at the bottom is where you actually get into the content of your course. So here it is. It's actually the whole course itself, not expanded, but everything you need is right in there. And of course, you're going to tackle your course in order starting at the very top. If you expand this, you can see there's a lot of things in there. You might have guessed it's way more than just 6 or 10 icons. There's a lot more to this course than those just folders that you've seen there. When you click in, I'm going to just start right at the top here with teacher expectations. A couple of navigation tips here. Number one, you have these navigation arrows at the bottom that will take you from one thing to the next as a good way to navigate. You also have some navigation up here in the top left corner from left and right. Those generally do the same thing as what you see down here at the bottom. And there's going to be one more type of navigation within the course I want to show you once we get into a lesson. The other thing I want to require, or not require, but request that you do is make sure you click on everything. So you can see down here, oh, this just looks like some headings. But if you read up here, and of course, being part of a virtual class, reading is super important. Don't miss anything on that page. Read everything. You'll see that these are flashcards down here. And so, it's something I can click on. And you can see here, there's a lot more information on the back of those. So there's going to be some things like that in the class where you're going to have drop downs. You're going to have windows that are interactive. You're going to have things that you need to click on, expand, and go through. And I'll try and point some of those out as we go. So remember, navigation, you can use the bottom of the page or the top. I'll just go to the next activity. You can see it just takes you there. Oh, same thing, flashcards again, next activity, so on and so forth, okay? You can always get back to that table of contents by clicking up here in the upper left-hand corner. And that will take you back. In case you are coming back to the class, it does pick up where you left off, but if you need to navigate somewhere else quickly, this is the best way to do that. As you work your way through, notice I have a little academic integrity information here. That's going to be important to read along with a little pledge that you'll fill out. As you're working your way through the course, these are inserted by me, just little tidbits. We like to call them just-in-time things for you to read about the class, and they're stuck in there where they are most important. So before you begin anything in terms of the actual class, you can see there's a piece of information here that's important. It's called managing your time and workload. So again, you'll go in there, you'll read that carefully, and then go on to the next thing, our discussion board. Again, instructions in there about how to submit, what to do. There's lots of good information. You got to make sure that you scroll that whole page and read everything so that you don't miss anything. Especially important when we get to actual course content. Okay, let's go down. There's some welcome information and getting started information there for you that you can browse through, but I want to get into Unit 1 here. It's called Our World in Motion. The first thing you'll notice when you get into that unit is you're going to take a little pretest, and that's the start of every unit. It just gives you a good idea where you're at. The score in that one does not factor into your overall grade. So if you don't do well on that, that's okay. Remember, you haven't learned any physics yet. You're not supposed to do really well on those. If you do well, awesome. You must have some good background information in physics. Once you get in to that through the pretest, you get to this first lesson here. It just talks about studying physics. And I'll let it load up for us. This one's a little bit different. Notice we still have our arrows up here to navigate on the top. We still have our arrows to navigate here on the bottom. But you're going to notice right here where it says home, you can see where my mouse is highlighting there. There's another navigation that's pointed. And this is most important here. It says 1 of 1. That means this first lesson, 1.01, is just one page. But as you get into the course, and I'll show you in a little bit, sometimes it says 1 of 6 or 1 of 10 or 1 of something else. And those are the pages of the lesson, right? We can't fit all of physics on one single page that we just scroll. So you got to use these arrows for navigation, or you can use the drop down here. I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, we'll go to the next thing here. At the bottom, you can see that you'll get through some assignments. Now, here's your first assignment to complete, right? It says complete this questionnaire above. Here's the questions 1 through 8. Paste those into a Google Doc, share that with Mr. Mack, upload it on the assignment page. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And what you see is this is a new thing. This isn't the assignment page that I wanted. I'm supposed to submit. Here's another assignment I'm supposed to complete. But again, it just gives me the instructions down here at the bottom. Oh no, like it says, submit your document to your instructor by attaching it to 1.01c Careers in Physics. So I click on that. It's not a link. You use the navigation up here. Oh no, that takes me to the next lesson. Okay, so what do? Don't forget, you have down here at the very bottom of the page your navigation between the activities in the course and up here on the top. When you get to this, it says submit your document here at the instructor and 1.01c Careers in Physics. If you click in through those things down there at the bottom, what you're going to find is that navigates you to those instructional pages. So back to the original one, here's the assignment. You remember you're going to copy and paste that into a Google document. Students usually just highlight their answers on there and fill in for the written ones by typing their response. And if you go all the way to the bottom, if you click that course navigation arrow, not the lesson navigation, that will take you to where you want to go, right? So here we are, bottom, click that. What does it really do? Boom, there's the submission page. So here's where you're going to attach your Google file. You can write me a comment in there if you wish, and you hit submit your work and away you go. Okay, so don't forget there's 3 ways to navigate the course. Lots of times when we're in a lesson, we want to use that lesson navigation. When we're working through assignments, trying to get to submission pages or get to the next lesson, we want to use the course navigation at the top or the one that's found at the very bottom. Those do the same thing. Okay, last thing to show you here is a lesson. Let's go to this first one here, physical measurements. Now we're in 1.04. And again, you can see when that little interaction loads there, that brings up our lesson. But now you see it's 1 of 6. There are 6 pages of information to this lesson, and we don't want you to miss any of those. So now, not going to use the main course navigation in 1.04 to get through the pages of 1.04. Use the lesson navigation at the top. There's 2 of 6, here's 3 of 6, and so on. Remember, when you get to the end and you have to get to the next thing, which is usually a quiz or a submission of an assignment or even on to the next lesson, then we want to use our course navigation down here on the bottom. So that's kind of an important thing there to remember as you navigate your way through the course. If you have any questions remember, you can always send me an email or make an appointment using my appointment link that you found on the landing page. It's also the welcome letter and a bunch of other places to get your questions answered. The last thing I'm going to leave you with here, just as a piece of advice, as you work your way through, remember that we want to make sure we click on everything. Here's a self-check. We can compare vectors. Here's practice questions down below. As you work your way through the class, you are going to want to take notes on everything. What's a great way to take notes? If you haven't used them yet, Cornell notes are awesome. And if you go up here to the top, if you notice there was a little notes tab that you can see up there at the top, you can click that, and here's an explanation on how to do that as you work your way through there. So again, welcome to class. It was nice to see everyone. Hopefully I have some of you guys back again, and I hope to see many of you soon. And welcome. Go Red Robins.